Have you ever considered how learn to be happy alone in your life could unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment? True happiness begins within, and embracing solitude allows you to connect with yourself in a meaningful way. It's not about being isolated. It's about finding peace, clarity, and purpose when you are with yourself. When you learn to appreciate your own company, you cultivate self-love, resilience, and the ability to create a life aligned with your values, bringing you lasting joy and inner contentment. Self-acceptance is the cornerstone of personal growth and happiness. It begins with recognizing and embracing your strengths, weaknesses, and past experiences without judgment. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, not to critique your reflection, but to see yourself as a whole person. This includes your triumphs, failures, and everything in between. Consider a moment from your life when you achieved something significant, perhaps completing a project or helping a friend in need. That moment reflects your strengths. Now think of a time when you made a mistake or fell short of your expectations. While it may bring discomfort, those moments also carry lessons that have shaped you into who you are today. In a world that constantly tells us how we should look, behave, and succeed, letting go of societal expectations becomes a revolutionary act. Self-acceptance requires stepping back from the noise of external pressures and tuning into your inner voice. For example, someone may feel inadequate because they haven't followed a traditional career path. Society often defines success in rigid terms, but true self-acceptance means redefining success based on your values and aspirations. Instead of focusing on societal benchmarks, acknowledge the courage it takes to forge your own path, whether that involves pursuing art, raising a family, or simply living authentically. Acknowledging past mistakes and understanding their role in your growth is a key element of self-acceptance. Often, we dwell on these moments with harsh self-criticism, replaying them in our minds and wishing we had done things differently. But self-acceptance invites you to view these mistakes not as failures, but as stepping stones. Consider someone who started a business that eventually failed. While the failure might feel like a personal shortcoming, it likely taught them resilience, problem-solving skills, and the importance of adaptability. Embracing these lessons allows them to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Another integral part of self-acceptance is understanding that imperfections are not signs of inadequacy, but rather reflections of humanity. Everyone has flaws, and these flaws make us real and relatable. Imagine an artist who sees every imperfection in their work as a failure. Over time, this mindset might prevent them from creating altogether. However, if they embrace those imperfections as part of the creative process, they can view them as unique elements that add authenticity to their art. Similarly, in life, our imperfections make us approachable and human, fostering deeper connections with others. It's crucial to acknowledge that self-acceptance doesn't mean settling for less or giving up on self-improvement. Instead, it's about understanding where you are right now and accepting that as part of your journey. A runner training for a marathon doesn't criticize themselves for being slower in the beginning stages. Instead, they appreciate the progress they've made and set realistic goals for improvement. This mindset is applicable to all areas of life. Recognizing yourself as a work in progress creates space for growth without the burden of perfectionism. Embracing self-acceptance also involves recognizing and honoring your feelings. Sadness, frustration, and even anger are natural responses to life's complexities. Instead of suppressing these emotions, allow yourself to experience them fully. For instance, someone grieving the loss of a loved one might initially resist their sadness, fearing it will overwhelm them. But by accepting and processing these emotions, they can find healing over time. Emotional honesty with oneself fosters a deeper connection to your inner world, reinforcing the message that it's okay to feel and to heal. Letting go of perfectionism is another vital step in self-acceptance. Perfectionism often stems from the fear of not being enough smart enough, attractive enough, or successful enough. Yet perfection is an unattainable standard that only leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead of striving for flawlessness, focus on progress and growth. For example, a student aiming for top grades might feel paralyzed by the pressure to be perfect. However, by focusing on steady improvement rather than unachievable perfection, they can celebrate small victories like mastering a challenging concept or completing a difficult assignment. Finally, self-acceptance involves extending kindness and compassion to yourself. Often, we are our harshest critics, quick to judge ourselves more harshly than we would a friend in similar circumstances. Imagine comforting a friend who has failed an important exam. You'd likely remind them of their worth and encourage them to keep trying. Yet, when it comes to your own failures, you might dwell on the negatives and question your abilities. By practicing self-compassion, you can treat yourself with the same care and understanding that you offer others, creating a foundation for inner peace and self-love. Self-acceptance is a journey that requires patience and persistence. It's not about changing who you are, but embracing your true self with all its complexities. By letting go of societal expectations, embracing imperfections, and treating yourself with kindness, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. This process allows you to see yourself not through the lens of others' judgments, but through the clarity of your own understanding. Over time, you'll realize that self-acceptance is not just an act of self-care, it's a declaration of your worth in humanity. Inner fulfillment begins with the realization that happiness is not something to be sought externally, but rather a wellspring that resides within us. It challenges the commonly held belief that joy comes from achieving certain milestones or acquiring material possessions. This concept encourages us to focus on gratitude, live in alignment with our values, and embrace the beauty of personal growth. Imagine someone who spends years chasing professional success, believing that a higher salary or a prestigious title will bring them happiness. Yet, when they achieve these goals, they might find themselves feeling empty because the source of their happiness was tied to fleeting external validation. Inner fulfillment, however, invites us to shift our focus inward and find joy in the present moment and in the simple pleasures of life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices for cultivating inner fulfillment. It shifts our attention from what we lack to what we already have, fostering a sense of abundance and contentment. Consider our experience of walking in nature. The warmth of the sun, the rustling of leaves, or the sound of bird song are all simple joys that often go unnoticed in the rush of daily life. By pausing to appreciate these moments, we begin to understand that happiness doesn't require grand achievements. A mother, for example, might feel overwhelmed by the demands of raising children. Yet, when she takes a moment to reflect on her child's laughter or a small gesture of love, she can experience profound gratitude for the richness of her life. Living in alignment with one's values is another essential aspect of inner fulfillment. When our actions reflect our core beliefs and principles, we experience a sense of wholeness and integrity. For instance, a teacher who values making a difference in others' lives may find immense satisfaction in their daily work, even if it doesn't come with financial rewards or societal recognition. This alignment creates a deep sense of purpose because the teacher knows they are living authentically and contributing to something meaningful. In contrast, someone who pursues a career solely for status or wealth might feel disconnected from their true self, leading to a lack of fulfillment. The path to inner fulfillment lies in understanding what truly matters to us and allowing those values to guide our decisions. Personal growth also plays a vital role in cultivating inner fulfillment. This growth isn't about achieving perfection, but about continuously evolving and learning. Life's challenges often provide the greatest opportunities for growth. Consider someone who has faced a significant setback, such as losing a job. While this experience might initially feel devastating, it can also serve as a catalyst for self-discovery. They might explore new career paths, develop skills they had previously overlooked, or uncover passions they never had the chance to pursue. Through this journey, they come to realize that their value is not defined by external circumstances, but by their resilience and willingness to grow. Shifting away from external validation is a liberating step toward inner fulfillment. In a world driven by social media and constant comparison, it's easy to equate self-worth with the approval of others. A young artist, for example, might feel discouraged if their work doesn't receive widespread recognition. However, when they focus on creating art that resonates with their own emotions and values, rather than seeking external praise, they find a deeper sense of satisfaction. Inner fulfillment teaches us that true happiness doesn't depend on the opinions of others, but on how closely we live in accordance with our own truth. Mindfulness is a powerful practice that supports the journey to inner fulfillment. By being fully present in the moment, we can appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. Imagine sipping a cup of tea. When approached mindfully, this simple act becomes an opportunity to engage all the senses, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma of the tea leaves, and the subtle flavors on your palate. These small moments, often overlooked, hold the potential to ground us in the present and bring a sense of peace and joy. Mindfulness allows us to experience life in its fullness rather than being consumed by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Cultivating inner fulfillment also involves letting go of attachments to material possessions or societal measures of success. This doesn't mean rejecting material comforts entirely, but recognizing that they are not the ultimate source of happiness. For instance, a person who spends years saving to buy a dream car might feel elated upon achieving their goal, but that feeling often fades over time. By contrast, investing in experiences, relationships, or personal growth tends to yield lasting satisfaction. A traveler who immerses themselves in new cultures or builds meaningful connections with others often finds these moments enriching and fulfilling in ways that material possessions cannot replicate. Another important element of inner fulfillment is the practice of self-compassion. This involves treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of failure or difficulty. Imagine a student who struggles to meet their academic goals. Instead of criticizing themselves harshly, they might choose to acknowledge their efforts and reflect on what they've learned from the experience. This shift in perspective fosters a sense of self-worth that is independent of external achievements. By embracing self-compassion, we create an inner environment where growth and happiness can flourish. Inner fulfillment also requires the courage to release what no longer serves us. This might include toxic relationships, unhelpful habits, or limiting beliefs. For example, someone who clings to a relationship out of fear of loneliness might find themselves feeling drained or unfulfilled. Letting go of this attachment, though painful, creates space for healthier connections and personal growth. Similarly, releasing negative thought patterns, such as the belief that we are not good enough, allows us to embrace our inherent worth and potential. At its core, inner fulfillment is about finding meaning and joy in the simplicity of being alive. It invites us to appreciate the small, often overlooked moments that make life beautiful. A farmer who rises early to tend their crops might find fulfillment in the quiet solitude of the morning and the satisfaction of nurturing life. A writer who spends hours crafting a story might discover joy in the process of creation itself, regardless of whether their work is widely recognized. These examples illustrate that fulfillment comes not from the destination, but from the journey, the everyday moments that shape our lives. In embracing gratitude, aligning with our values, and in prioritizing personal growth, we unlock the potential for true happiness. Inner fulfillment is not about eliminating life's challenges, but about navigating them with a sense of purpose and authenticity. By turning inward and appreciating the richness of the present moment, we discover that the joy we seek has been within us all along. Through this journey, we learn that happiness is not a fleeting emotion tied to external circumstances, but a lasting state of being that emerges from a deep connection with ourselves and the world around us. Solitude is often misunderstood in a world that values constant connection and social interaction. Many equate being alone with loneliness, associating it with feelings of isolation or inadequacy. However, solitude is not about retreating from the world, but about intentionally creating space for reflection, creativity, and self-discovery. It is a time to step away from the external noise and distractions to connect deeply with yourself, fostering inner peace and a better understanding of who you are. Imagine a painter who retreats to a quiet studio, free from interruptions, where their creativity flows without restraint. In that solitude, they are not isolated. They are immersed in the richness of their inner world, exploring ideas that might not surface in the chaos of daily life. Recognizing the value of solitude begins with appreciating its potential to offer clarity and perspective. When we are constantly surrounded by others or consumed by external demands, it becomes difficult to hear our inner voice. Solitude creates the stillness needed to reflect on our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Consider someone who takes a solitary walk in a forest. Away from the hustle of everyday life, they can process their worries, celebrate their achievements, or simply enjoy the beauty of nature. This reflective practice allows them to understand themselves better and gain insights that might have been lost in the noise of constant interaction. Silence is an integral part of solitude, offering a space for introspection and healing. In our noisy world, silence can feel uncomfortable or even intimidating, but it holds immense power. Think of someone who sits quietly by a lake at sunrise, listening only to the gentle ripples of water and the chirping of birds. In this silence, they are not alone, but connected to something greater, the rhythm of nature and their own inner peace. The stillness allows them to process unresolved emotions and find clarity in their thoughts. Silence, far from being empty, becomes a nurturing space for self-awareness and growth. Solitude also encourages creativity, giving the mind the freedom to wander and explore. Many great thinkers and artists have found inspiration in moments of solitude. Imagine a writer spending hours alone with their thoughts, shaping words into stories that resonate with others. Without the distractions of the outside world, they can delve deeply into their imagination, uncovering ideas that are uniquely their own. Similarly, a scientist working on a complex problem might find that a quiet evening of uninterrupted focus leads to the breakthrough they've been seeking. Solitude fosters this kind of deep concentration and allows creativity to flourish. Self-discovery is another profound gift of solitude. When we are alone, we have the freedom to explore who we truly are beyond the roles and expectations imposed by society. It is in these quiet moments that we can peel back the layers of our identity and reconnect with our authentic selves. Consider someone who takes a solo trip to a new city, free from the influences of their usual environment. As they navigate unfamiliar streets, try new foods, and reflect on their experiences, they begin to learn more about their preferences, values, and aspirations. Solitude provides the space to ask questions about what truly matters and to discover answers that resonate deeply. Being comfortable with one's own company is a skill that solitude helps cultivate. Many people rely on external validation for their sense of worth, but solitude teaches us that we are enough on our own. Imagine someone who spends an evening alone, cooking a meal and enjoying it without distractions. They are not seeking approval or companionship, but simply savoring the experience of being with themselves. Over time, these moments of solitude build a strong sense of self-reliance and confidence. The individual learns to trust their instincts, make decisions independently, and value their own opinions. Solitude also redefines our relationship with time. In the rush of daily life, time often feels like a limited resource filled with deadlines and demands. Solitude slows this pace, allowing us to experience time as expansive and abundant. Think of someone who spends a day gardening. Without the pressure of schedules, they can immerse themselves in the task, feeling the soil in their hands and watching the gradual growth of the plants they tend. This unhurried approach fosters mindfulness, helping them appreciate the present moment and the simple joys it brings. In solitude, we also learn to let go of distractions and focus on what truly matters. It is easy to fill our lives with constant activity to avoid confronting uncomfortable thoughts or feelings. However, solitude invites us to sit with those emotions and process them fully. Imagine someone who chooses to spend an hour meditating each day. In that quiet space, they might confront fears, resolve inner conflicts, or simply observe their thoughts without judgment. This practice not only enhances emotional resilience, but also deepens their connection to themselves. Embracing solitude does not mean isolating ourselves from others. Instead, it helps us build stronger, more meaningful relationships. When we spend time alone, we develop a deeper understanding of our needs, boundaries, and desires, which allows us to engage with others authentically. Consider a person who spends time journaling about their feelings after a disagreement with a friend. Through this solitary reflection, they gain clarity about their emotions and can approach the friend with honesty and understanding. In this way, solitude strengthens our capacity for empathy and connection. The journey of solitude is one of self-discovery and empowerment. It teaches us to value our own company, embrace silence, and appreciate the beauty of life's simple moments. Whether through quiet reflection, creative pursuits, or mindful practices, solitude provides a space to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us. It is not a retreat from life, but a path toward a deeper, more meaningful existence. By embracing solitude, we unlock the potential for growth, creativity, and inner peace, discovering that the answers we seek are often found within. Self-love is the foundation of a fulfilling life. It is not rooted in arrogance, but in recognizing your inherent worth and treating yourself with the care and compassion you deserve. It is the act of being kind to yourself, setting boundaries to protect your well-being, and fostering mental, physical, and emotional health. Embracing self-love means replacing the harsh inner critic with a nurturing voice, one that allows forgiveness and positivity to take the lead. Imagine a musician struggling to perfect a composition. Instead of criticizing their imperfections, they acknowledge their efforts, take a break, and return to their work with a renewed sense of encouragement. This act of kindness toward oneself reflects the essence of self-love. Practicing self-compassion is one of the first steps in building self-love. It involves treating yourself as you would a close friend who is struggling. Consider someone who faces rejection after applying for their dream job. Instead of internalizing the rejection as a reflection of their worth, they remind themselves that setbacks are a part of life. They acknowledge their disappointment without letting it define them and use the experience as an opportunity to grow. Self-compassion creates an inner dialogue that is supportive rather than judgmental. It reminds you that it is okay to feel vulnerable or make mistakes because those experiences are part of being human. Setting boundaries is another crucial aspect of self-love. Boundaries are not about distancing yourself from others, but about defining the space where your needs and well-being are respected. Imagine a person who constantly agrees to work overtime to please their employer, even at the expense of their health. Over time, this leads to exhaustion and resentment. By setting boundaries and communicating their limits, they not only protect their energy, but also create a healthier work-life balance. Boundaries allow you to prioritize your own needs without feeling guilty, reinforcing your sense of self-worth. Caring for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being is a tangible way to practice self-love. It involves creating habits and routines that nurture your overall health. For example, a person might dedicate 30 minutes a day to exercise, not to achieve an external ideal, but to strengthen their body and release stress. They might also spend time journaling to process their emotions or engage in mindfulness practices to stay present. These acts of care are powerful reminders that you value yourself enough to invest in your well-being. They provide a foundation for resilience and happiness, allowing you to face challenges with strength and clarity. Replacing negative self-talk with positivity and forgiveness is transformative. The words you speak to yourself shape how you see the world and your place in it. Imagine someone who makes a public mistake during a presentation and immediately thinks, "I'm so incompetent. I shouldn't have tried this." Such negative self-talk only reinforces feelings of inadequacy. However, if they replace those thoughts with, "This was a learning experience and I can improve next time," they create space for growth and self-acceptance. Forgiveness is equally important. Holding on to guilt over past actions only weighs you down. Letting go and forgiving yourself allows you to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Self-love also involves embracing your individuality and celebrating what makes you unique. Society often imposes standards of success, beauty, and behavior, pressuring people to conform. However, self-love requires you to step away from these expectations and appreciate yourself for who you are. Imagine an artist who creates unconventional work that doesn't conform to popular trends. Instead of seeking validation from others, they embrace their unique style and draw fulfillment from the process of creation. This acceptance of individuality fosters confidence and helps you live authentically, aligned with your values and passions. Gratitude plays a significant role in cultivating self-love. Shifting your focus from what you lack to what you appreciate about yourself builds a sense of abundance. Imagine someone who struggles with body image. By taking a moment each day to acknowledge something they love about their body, its strength, its ability to heal, or its resilience, they begin to view themselves with more kindness. Gratitude helps you shift your perspective, making it easier to see your strengths and celebrate the aspects of yourself that you might otherwise overlook. Letting go of perfectionism is a liberating step towards self-love. Perfectionism sets unattainable standards, creating frustration and self-doubt. Imagine a writer who spends weeks revising the same paragraph, convinced it must be flawless before they move on. This focus on perfection often leads to burnout and dissatisfaction. By letting go of the need to be perfect, the writer can focus on progress, enjoying the process of creation rather than obsessing over the outcome. Accepting that mistakes are a natural part of growth allows you to approach challenges with curiosity and openness. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another way to nurture self-love. The people you interact with, the content you consume, and the environment you inhabit all impact how you see yourself. Imagine someone who realizes that a particular group of friends constantly undermines their confidence. By seeking relationships with supportive individuals who celebrate their achievements, they create an environment that reinforces their self-worth. Similarly, engaging with media that promotes diversity and self-acceptance rather than unrealistic ideals fosters a healthier mindset. Your surroundings should reflect the love and respect you are cultivating within yourself. Patience is a crucial part of the self-love journey. It is not a destination, but an ongoing process of growth and learning. There will be days when self-doubt creeps in, but these moments are opportunities to deepen your practice. Imagine someone recovering from years of self-criticism who begins to set small, achievable goals. Each step they take, whether it's speaking up in a meeting or setting a boundary with a loved one, reinforces their belief in their worth. Over time, these actions build a strong foundation of self-respect and empowerment. Self-love is a lifelong commitment to treating yourself with the kindness and care you deserve. It involves practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, and nurturing your well-being. By replacing negative self-talk with positivity and forgiveness, you create a space where growth and healing can flourish. Through self-love, you learn to embrace your uniqueness, let go of perfectionism, and surround yourself with positivity. This journey is not about changing who you are, but about recognizing that you are already enough. In cultivating self-love, you discover a deeper connection to yourself and the strength to navigate life's challenges with grace and authenticity. Mindfulness and reflection are interconnected practices that help us navigate life with clarity and emotional balance. Mindfulness brings awareness to the present moment, allowing us to notice our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. Reflection helps us analyze our experiences, recognize patterns, and extract valuable insights for personal growth. Together, these practices cultivate self-awareness, resilience, and intentional living. Being mindful means fully engaging with the present rather than functioning on autopilot. Imagine walking through a park while lost in thought or distracted by a phone. The beauty of nature, the warmth of the sun, and the sound of birds go unnoticed. Now consider the same walk with complete awareness, feeling each step, inhaling the fresh air, and noticing the vibrant colors around you. This shift transforms an ordinary activity into a moment of peace and connection. Mindfulness also helps us regulate emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively to frustration or stress, we learn to pause, acknowledge our emotions, and respond thoughtfully. Consider a person receiving negative feedback at work. Instead of feeling discouraged or defensive, they take a deep breath, recognize their emotions, and process the feedback objectively. This mindful approach fosters emotional resilience and prevents negative emotions from taking control. Reflection deepens our self-awareness by allowing us to examine past experiences and identify patterns. Someone who often feels overwhelmed at work may, through reflection, realize they take on too many commitments out of fear of disappointing others. Recognizing this pattern empowers them to set boundaries and create a healthier balance. Journaling is a powerful tool for reflection, providing a structured way to explore thoughts and emotions. Writing about challenges and successes helps individuals recognize recurring themes and track personal growth. A person struggling with self-doubt may, over time, notice negative self-talk in their journal entries. Awareness of this pattern allows them to challenge and reframe their thoughts, fostering greater confidence and self-acceptance. Mindfulness and reflection also enhance relationships. When facing a conflict, mindfulness helps us stay present and listen actively instead of reacting emotionally. Later, through reflection, we assess our responses and consider how to improve communication. This combination leads to deeper understanding and stronger connections. These practices also cultivate gratitude. Mindfulness helps us appreciate small joys, laughter with a friend, a warm meal, or a quiet evening. Reflection allows us to recognize these moments more deeply, shifting our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. Someone who ends each day by recalling 3 things they are grateful for naturally develops a more positive mindset. Beyond emotional well-being, mindfulness and reflection support better decision-making. Mindfulness helps us tune into our inner voice, while reflection allows us to assess past choices and make more informed decisions. An entrepreneur debating a financial risk, for instance, can use mindfulness to stay grounded and reflection to analyze previous experiences, leading to a balanced and thoughtful choice. These practices also build resilience by transforming setbacks into learning experiences. Instead of dwelling on failure, mindfulness allows us to acknowledge disappointment without being consumed by it, while reflection helps us find lessons in adversity. A job rejection, for example, becomes an opportunity to refine skills and explore new directions. Ultimately, mindfulness and reflection create a more intentional and fulfilling life. Mindfulness helps us engage with the present, while reflection provides guidance for the future. Together, they foster growth, clarity, and a deeper connection to ourselves and the world. Through these practices, we cultivate resilience, appreciation, and the wisdom to navigate life with purpose. Resilience is the ability to face challenges with strength and grace, transforming adversity into an opportunity for growth. It is not about avoiding hardship, but about building mental and emotional strength that enables us to adapt and thrive even in difficult circumstances. Adaptability is at the heart of resilience, allowing us to adjust to changing conditions and find new paths forward. For example, a professional who faces an unexpected layoff might initially feel overwhelmed. However, by adapting to the situation, they may identify new opportunities to upskill, explore a different industry, or even start their own business. This flexibility helps them navigate the uncertainty while opening doors to unexpected possibilities. Optimism plays a vital role in resilience by fostering a positive outlook and encouraging perseverance. When we view setbacks as temporary and solvable, we are more likely to remain motivated and focused. Consider a student who performs poorly on an exam. Instead of internalizing the failure as a reflection of their abilities, they recognize it as a chance to identify gaps in their understanding and improve. Optimism fuels their efforts to study more effectively and seek support, ultimately helping them achieve better results. This perspective reminds us that every challenge holds the potential for learning and growth. A growth mindset is essential for building resilience, as it emphasizes the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and experience. This mindset allows us to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to stretch beyond our current limits. For instance, an athlete who faces a tough competition may feel daunted by the level of skill required. Yet, by embracing a growth mindset, they focus on improving through disciplined practice and learning from their competitors. Over time, this attitude strengthens their skills and reinforces their resilience, proving that perseverance leads to progress. Resilience also involves emotional regulation, which enables us to manage stress and maintain balance during difficult times. Instead of being overwhelmed by negative emotions, a resilient person learns to acknowledge and process them in healthy ways. For example, someone experiencing a breakup might initially feel consumed by sadness or anger. Through mindfulness, practices like deep breathing or journaling, they process their emotions constructively, regaining clarity and composure. Emotional regulation is not about suppressing feelings, but about creating space to navigate them with awareness and understanding. At its core, resilience is about reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation. When faced with adversity, a resilient individual approaches the situation with curiosity and determination, seeking out the lessons it holds. Consider a small business owner who encounters a financial setback. Instead of viewing it as a failure, they analyze the factors contributing to the challenge and adjust their strategies to avoid similar pitfalls in the future. This proactive approach not only helps them recover, but also strengthens their ability to handle future obstacles. Resilience is not a trait we are born with, but a skill we can develop over time. By embracing adaptability, optimism, and a growth mindset, we can navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and purpose. These qualities empower us to face difficulties head on, learn from them, and emerge stronger. Through resilience, we discover that challenges are not roadblocks, but stepping stones on the path to personal growth and fulfillment. Happiness is not something to be found in external achievements or fleeting circumstances. It is a state that resides within. By embracing solitude, individuals create space for reflection, self-discovery, and connection to their true selves. Through self-love, they cultivate kindness and compassion toward themselves, recognizing their worth and nurturing their well-being. Resilience enables them to face life's challenges with strength and adaptability, transforming setbacks into opportunities for growth. Together, these practices empower individuals to navigate life with a sense of inner peace, authenticity, and purpose. Ultimately, the path to happiness lies in intentional living and self-awareness. When we shift our focus from external validation to internal fulfillment, we discover a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. This journey is not about perfection, but about progress, embracing each moment as an opportunity to grow, heal, and thrive. By aligning with these principles, we unlock the potential to live a life that is not only meaningful, but deeply fulfilling, a life rooted in clarity, strength, and unwavering self-belief.